All right, I'd like to call this session to order, this special call session for the purpose of discussing and having a public hearing for the county's 2023 millage rate for Tuesday, August 8, 2023. That being said, I'd like to call the public hearing to order. This is the second of three public hearings the county is required to hold regarding the notice of intent to increase property taxes. There will be one more public hearing regarding the same before the millage rate is set. Harris County Board of Commissioners has tentatively adopted a 2023 millage rate, which will require an increase in property taxes by 2.72% in the county-wide less West Point area and by 6.60% in the West Point area. The tentative increase will result in a millage of 9.13 mills, an increase of 0.242 mills in the countywide less West Point area. Without this tentative tax increase, the millage rate will be no more than 8.888 mills. The proposed tax increase for a home with a fair market value of $250,000 is approximately $24.20. And the proposed tax increase for a non-homestead property with a fair market value of $175,000 is approximately $16.94. In the West Point area, this tentative increase will result in a millage rate of 5.478 mills, an increase of 0.339 mills. Without this tentative tax increase, the millage rate will be no more than 5.139 mills. The proposed tax increase for a home with a fair market value of $175,000 is approximately $23.73, and the proposed tax increase for a non-homestead property with a fair market value of $125,000 is approximately $16.95. Mr. Wayne, did I say all that correctly?
Yes, sir, you did. Absolutely.
Do you have anything you would like to say about it?
If you'd like me to, I'll be happy to.
I'd-
One of the things I'd like to point out in this is that the millage rate for the county, as well as the Board of Education, from what I understand, by going to their meetings, is not changing for this year. So everyone that did not have a value change should pay the same amount of taxes this year as they did the year before. Only those that had value increases would get an increase in their tax bill. Those with value decreases would actually get a decrease. The other thing I'd like to mention this year is that we have the homestead tax relief grant that Governor Kemp has put in place that will give up to roughly $475 or $80 to folks who have homestead and qualify for that. It's a one-time deal this year. Next year, it's possible they could do it again, but they don't have to. It's only been approved for 1 year, and that's this year. And so people will, with homesteads on their property, will see that tax relief as well. Of course, the other thing about that is then next year, if they decide not to give the tax relief, then it appears as though their taxes are going up. While we may not do anything, but it's because of that. So I just wanted to point that out. The millage rate, the reason we have to have these public hearings is it's required by the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights because we actually had revaluation this year. And any time that you have revaluation of properties, you have to do one of two things. You have to roll the millage rate back, which in this case would be to 8.888, I think it was, to collect no more taxes than you did the year before from that revaluation, or you have to advertise that you're having a tax increase, which is what we're actually doing here, even though the rate itself is not changing. So that's the purpose of these hearings, and we do that 3 times. We do 2 in 1 day like we're doing now, and then next week we'll do the 3rd public hearing as well as set the millage rate and adopt the Board of Education's. They will be setting their millage rate this Thursday.
All right.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Wayne?
I do. So what percentage of the properties were revaluated
This year, roughly 20% of the
So
properties.
that means 80% of the property owners will see no increase in their taxes.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is there anyone here that would like to come up and speak on the millage rate for the county? For or against? I don't know if anybody would be against, but it might be, or I mean for. Nobody wants to pay more taxes, including the commissioners that are taxpayers also, but it's something we have to do. Anyone? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Does any commissioner have anything else they would like to ask of, Mr. Wayne about all this? And I know, Commissioner Andrews, you and I both have talked about this for years, that sometimes it's the wording of what we have to put in there that really triggers a lot of stuff, but it's, as you said, we're staying the same with the millage rate, we're not raising it. It's just because of the reevaluation. All right, that being said, I will close the hearing. And then the next public hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, August 15th, during the regular session that begins at